The Tripodices, my family, are not lucky by nature. Oh, sure, we'll win the occasional pot in a poker game. The spin of a slot machine may sometimes go our way, and every once in a while we'll find $5 in a pair of jeans after they've gone through the wash. But we don't win lotteries, raffles, have never yelled bingo, never had the joy of screaming out Yahtzee. Why? I can't tell you for sure. Maybe the stars have never aligned. Maybe our karma is lost somewhere in the Bermuda Triangle on a boat that went down. Or maybe some long-forgotten relative did something to someone and permanently sealed our fate with a curse that we have no idea on how to remove until we find some dusty volume of family history that tells us how to do it. Superstitious? Yeah, maybe. But I'll walk under a ladder, and I'll let a black cat cross my path. And I don't freak out on any particular Friday the 13th because I think it's bad luck to give in to any of those ridiculous fallacies. Hi, I'm Dino Tripodis, and welcome to Whiskey Business. As you know by now, a podcast not so much about whiskey as it is one with whiskey. And our guest bottle this evening is Blanton's Single Barrel, a nice one, a whiskey that was once for ambassadors, dignitaries, and Colonel Blanton's family. And I'm happy to say that we have what I consider to be a dignitary, an ambassador of sorts. My guest is what I consider to be the world's most superstitious fan when it comes to at least sports. Maybe there's other things involved within it as well. My guest is Billy DeMora, who is vocationally wise the secretary of the Democratic Party here in Ohio.
Yes.
Okay. Maybe we'll get into that a little bit later. Maybe we won't. But what we will get into is the fact that you are probably the world's most superstitious fan that I know. So my first question to you, my friend, and you have been my friend for quite some time, my first question is, what the hell's wrong with you?
I'm screwed up. I am. I admit it. But I've been doing it for so long. I've been superstitious for so long, especially for Ohio State football, that I can't stop. I can't mentally stop.
Well, let's start with that. Let's start with Ohio State football. Let's start with one of the most spectacular games in recent memory.
Yes.
The double overtime.
I think I died 3 or 4 times during the game. Yes.
In the shoe.
Yes.
Now, I know that there's a whole list of things you do for an Ohio State game, but what did you do from a superstitious nature to ensure the victory on Saturday?
Well, I did what I did this Saturday. I've done every Saturday this year, and every Saturday for every home game that I can remember. I wore the same clothes. I did all of my little idiosyncrasies. I was in the game with enough time to see the band, and I did all my little stuff. I sat with the same 2 people sitting on either side of me that I have all season because I can't let anybody else sit next to me.
That's
other than my 2
one
buddies.
of them.
That's one of them. I said I wore the same underwear I've been wearing all season, the same socks, the same shoes, the same. I wear white shorts when it's warm and gray Dockers when it's cold, and I wear my gray Dockers because it was cold. And the same shirt, the same jersey I've been wearing all season, and I have my, I actually have my class ring, and I was wearing one of my Ohio State watches that I only wear during game days. I have 5 Ohio State watches. One of them's only for game day. The other 4 are for during the week. But the one I have just for game day, actually, battery conked out. I took it to my favorite jeweler, Cariotti Jewelers, who fixed my watch. I had to have it back in 2 days so the battery worked because I had to wear that watch to the football game. So I had to have him fix it last Monday before Thanksgiving started. Otherwise, we were going to lose. So he realized that, and I got it fixed in a day. I just did everything I normally do, and I got to my tailgate spot at 4:05 in the morning, and when we won. After a very agonizing, I think I died 3 or 4 times during the game. I think at the end of the game, though, I hugged everybody around me like everybody else. We hugged everybody. Everybody just hugged. A communal hug.
Secretary of the Democratic Party in the state of Ohio, you say?
If I had the ability to affect the outcome of elections like I can affect the outcome of a Ohio State football game, I'd be much better off in life.
All right, so we'll come back to that a little bit later. If I recall, isn't there something you do in the fourth quarter if Ohio State is not winning?
For away games, if we're losing in the fourth quarter, I leave the stadium and get my bad luck out of the stadium. Never for a home game.
Never for home game. Only for away games.
Only time I leave home games is if we're up by more than 4 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, so I go to start drinking.
Okay, and that's permissible. That's allowed.
Oh, if we're going to lose a game, we're up by 4 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, I don't want to be in the stadium because I'll commit suicide.
I see. Okay. Yeah, we don't want that to happen.
Right.
But on an away game, if the Buckeyes are losing in the fourth quarter,
I leave.
You have to leave.
I have to leave so my bad luck gets out of the stadium.
Why do you think you're the bad luck?
Because I have a black cloud over me when it happens that way. I believe I have a black cloud over me at away games, and sometimes the black cloud is not as heavy as other days, but sometimes it is, and I have to leave, otherwise we won't win.
I see. Now, when did you stumble across this? I mean, were you actually at an away game and stayed for the whole thing and the Buckeyes lost? Is that how it all started?
Yes.
And that's when you determined
I had to leave. Yes.
That you had to leave.
Mm-hmm.
You had to leave. Don't you also have something with the program?
Oh, I buy a program. I actually have at home games. One of the guys that sells programs comes up to me and sees me. He got there this week at like 8:30 and sold me my program. I've never opened a program in the 30-some years I've been going to football games. Never opened one of them.
Why don't you open
once
it?
It got opened and we lost, so it's never been opened since.
So you opened it one time and the
No,
Buckeyes...
I didn't. A friend of mine did. A girl that I took to a game once opened a program. She never came back to a game, and the program never got opened after that.
Wow, you actually take girls to games? The girls actually go to games with you?
Well, last year I took my girlfriend at the time last year, and we broke up because of what I do with football games. So they're taboo. No more girlfriends at a football game.
No more girlfriends at a football game.
No more women next to me at a football game. It's bad luck. I have one woman who sits. I have 4 seats. I have like 26 season tickets. So for 4 seats.
Whoa, back up. You have 26 season tickets.
Yes.
Why?
Because I can't never get enough season tickets because I have to take care of everybody. Everyone wants tickets to the game. I have to take care of what I do. One of my jobs as Secretary of the Democratic Party is all the people that want tickets. I have to take care of them.
Why is it your responsibility? How does that
happen? Because I'm the guy that has tickets.
Well, you weren't always the guy that had tickets.
Yeah, I have. Since everybody had tickets, I've been having tickets for 20 years, 25 years. I've been getting the guy that gets everybody tickets.
So as soon as you got out of Ohio State University, you automatically had 25, 26 tickets?
No. I get them from sources, and I use them to take care of people I need to take care of.
Okay, let's dig a little deeper into this. I do want to find out more about what and how Billy DeMora has become the superstitious fan that he is. So let's go back to your origins. Where are you from originally?
Euclid, east side of Cleveland. Robert Smith, Peppy Pearson, all from Euclid High School. I went to Euclid High School.
You went to Euclid High School?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And born and raised in the Cleveland area?
In Euclid, yes.
Now, was your family superstitious? Was your mother or father superstitious?
No. My father was captain of the OSU wrestling team in 46, 47, and 48.
Mm-hmm.
And my mother, who was much younger than my father, went to Bowling Green. But I was always about my first game at Ohio State ever. My father brought me to was Archie Griffin's ever first game against North Carolina in 1972. Third game of the season. Archie came in as a freshman and ran for 200 yards and 3 touchdowns, and that was my first ever Ohio State game, and I knew from that minute on I was going to be Buckeye the rest of my life.
Buckeye the rest of your life?
Yes.
So your mother wasn't superstitious. Your father wasn't superstitious.
No, they think my mom, late, God rest her soul, thought I was crazy, but realized that she couldn't do anything about it, and my father just still thinks I'm crazy.
Siblings?
I have a younger brother who he lives in Los Angeles with his 3 kids and his wife, and he has no superstitions as far as I know.
No superstitions at all?
No.
So, maybe... adopted? Are you adopted?
No, I don't think so. I look exactly like my father, so I don't think so. There are too many similarities for me to be adopted.
I'm just trying to figure out.
I understand.
I'm trying to figure out genetically where it came from.
I got the warped brain. I can't help myself. It's something I did. I got this jersey when I was very young.
What jersey?
I got an old Ohio State jersey when I was very young. It was an old shirt, kind of. It was when I got it when I was 6 or 7 years old. It went down to my ankles. I got it as a Christmas present because I loved Ohio State. And I kept getting these Christmas presents that I didn't like clothes, but I got this one Ohio State shirt, and it wasn't supposed to be for me, but it was too big. I said, I want that. I was Ohio State, and I got it. I wore that jersey for the next 30 years.
How many?
30.
30 years.
30 years until we won the national championship in 2002. I ran that I got this jersey like in 1970 something. I wore it through the championship in 2002.
And how's it fit now?
It's been framed because I can't wear it anymore.
Because
it's falling apart.
It's falling apart, not because they won
the
the
logo on
championship
it,
game.
You couldn't read anymore because it was all worn out. But it fit fine the year we won the national championship in 2002.
And then it was
retired.
Retired.
It was retired. In honor, yes.
So is it just Ohio State, or do the Superstitions fall into other sports and other arenas of your life?
Well, they used to, but I've gotten away from them as I got older. I used to be more superstitious for the Browns. Back in the days, I had my first season ticket when I was 16 years old.
Uh-huh.
I was at Red Right 88. I was at the Drive. I was at all these games. And then the Browns just stunk so bad, not even I could lift them out of the doldrums. So this year, actually, I don't have season tickets for the first time in 31 years. I gave up all this stuff on the Browns. I used to be a huge Browns fan.
Now, don't you feel responsible, the fact that maybe you don't have season tickets for the first time in how many years?
31.
And they are what?
They're 0-12.
0-12?
They stink. Their ownership, as long as they have that hillbilly owner, I'm never going to another game. So they stink. Not even I can pull them out of the doldrums. I used to be very superstitious for Ohio State basketball when I was in college.
So you think that you actually have some sort of power, for lack of a better word, some sort of force
for Ohio State football? Yes, I do.
For Ohio State football,
I do, absolutely.
But you couldn't summon those powers, those strengths to help the Cleveland
I had to
Browns.
make a decision who my powers were going to help, and I decided Ohio State football was.
Focused.
I focused.
You focused.
I focused.
Did you have anything to do, in your opinion, with the Cavaliers winning a championship?
No, because I don't like the NBA.
You don't like the NBA.
I don't believe in the NBA. The only game I watched all season last year was Game 7.
Okay. And baseball, do you have any effect over the Indians?
I was at Game 7.
You were at Game 7.
We lost.
Yeah. Is that your fault?
No, it's not my fault because it was the rain. The rain came and took away our momentum.
Well, wait a minute. When you talk about this black cloud that hovers over you.
But baseball, no, you can't. No, I don't go to
game.
enough baseball games to have any. I go to every Ohio State home game, and I go to most Ohio State away games.
Yes, you do. I
so
know this.
I have ability to control my destiny when I'm at the game. I have no ability to control my destiny for when I play 162 games a season for baseball, and then all these playoff tickets. I don't have that ability.
Too many games?
Too many games.
Too many games for you to keep track of.
Yes, too many games.
So next year, if the Indians get back to it and get there again, and it's a Game 7, and you have tickets, do you go or do you not go?
I go, but I'll go since I probably won't take the same person because I'm no longer with her.
Okay, but you don't think that the fact that you were there for Game 7 and they lost
you got to
factors
stop
in?
bringing women to these games.
I don't understand your logic on some of these things. They lost when you were with them on Game 7.
Yes.
So in theory, the way I'm looking at it is you couldn't go to Game 7
if they play the Cubs
again
in Game 7. I won't go. It only affects if there's a Game 7.
Is this written down anywhere?
In my brain.
In
it's
your
all
brain.
in my brain. Yes.
So God forbid, I'm sure you're going to live a long life and torture us
I'm
for
not so
many
sure.
years to come.
My father's currently 94, so who knows?
Well, yeah, your father's 94. So all these things are they're not written down anywhere. They can't be passed along to someone.
No,
They
absolutely not.
will die with you.
They will die with me. Absolutely.
Don't you find it exhausting? Don't you sometimes get up on a football Saturday and go, "Oh dear Lord, I've got."
It's 4:45 in the morning. I have to go to the tailgate. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just approximately, if you do everything, how many things do you have to do in the course of a football Saturday?
Like 177.
177 different things.
Yeah. That counts every article of clothing and the time and
177. Do you hear yourself?
Yes, I do.
177 things on the course of a regular day in the life of Billy DeMora. Are there 177 things that you have to do over the course of a day that happen every day?
No.
So on a football Saturday, 177 things.
Yes.
You wake up on a football Saturday in your bed at what time?
I get up at 4.
4.
But my clock says 7:11. It's 3.5 hours, 3 hours and 11 minutes fast.
Why?
Because I have to get up at 7:11. It's good luck. 7:11 is craps, as you know. Craps
Yeah,
luckers.
I understand
But
that.
I have to. But it used to be I would get to my tailgate. I'd get up at 7:11 and be my tailgate by 8. But then every year, it's moving forward because someone tries to take my spot. So I have to get there earlier and earlier and earlier.
What do you mean tries to take your spot?
I mean, my spot in my garage, my tailgate spot. I have to have that spot.
You have to have the same spot.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, you can't tailgate in a different spot.
No, absolutely not.
No.
Because my
The
TV
whole
only.
row of superstitious dominoes will fall.
Yes, my TV. The thing that holds up my TV only fits in one spot in the world. The thing that holds up my satellite dish only fits in one
You have
spot
a
in the world.
satellite dish at your tailgate?
Yes, I have my own porta potty at tailgates.
You have your own porta potty at your tailgates.
Absolutely, yes.
Why?
Because if you saw the Lions this week, 65 deep by 10 in the morning, my people get to go. My tailgate and myself.
My people,
my tailgate
your
people.
tribe,
my tailgate people. I have a key, and they go down to my restroom with my name on it, and they use the key, and they go in, and they lock it up back. Even if anybody wants to give them money or use it, then no one's allowed to use it but my people.
I see. So it's just for convenience. It's not part of the superstitious ritual that we have
Well,
to
I've
wear.
had one now for so long that I have to be. If I don't get a porta potty, we would lose the game.
You got to be kidding me.
No,
if
absolutely.
you don't have a porta potty at
For a
your
home game,
tailgate
we lose
for
it,
a
yes.
home game,
Yes,
you'll
we
lose.
Absolutely.
Is
Absolutely.
it the same porta potty?
No, I think it's a different one. It's from the same company.
Well, how do you know it's not what's going on
I
with
have
that?
to lock it up by noon on Friday. Put the lock on. I go and drive, put the lock on it by noontime on Friday. So it's locked up so that the kids can't use it on Friday and dirty it up. And then it's my porta potty for the game. And I have my own key, and it has a sign on it for use of Billy DeMora private party.
Uh-huh.
And my friends use the porta potty for my tailgate.
Okay. What's the very first thing you do when you get up on a football Saturday? The very first thing. What's number one out of the 177?
I have to get up in the morning, and I never, the alarm never goes off. I just can't sleep, so I'm always up. So I finally decide, screw the alarm, I'm getting up. It's usually like, my clock will say like 6:30, even though that means 3:15. And and I get up, and I go downstairs, and I do Script Ohio in my living room.
What?
I do Script Ohio.
By yourself?
By myself. And I dot the I by myself, and I tip like the band. I bow like the band guy does, and I swirl around, and I bow to the other side of my house all by myself.
All by yourself?
Of course.
Now, nobody...
Anybody, if I have guests over all the time, but I never allow them to come down and see that. That's one of the things. They have to swear secrecy. They'll never come down and see me do Script Ohio.
Why? Do you do it badly?
No, but it's one of those things I can't have anybody see. It's bad luck.
Did somebody actually see you do it
Yes,
once?
and we lost.
And we lost. Okay,
Yes.
all right. So there's got to. I'm trying to figure out what the reasoning is. How you check things off that
And
say,
so-
okay, it has to go this way now because this happened.
That's right.
And so forth and so on.
Yes.
I see.
How did that tradition start?
I started doing it in college because I'm crazy. And when no one watched me, we'd win. And if someone actually saw me, we'd lose. And so I told people they couldn't watch me anymore. And that's what happened. I mean, all this stuff evolves over time. I mean, like I said, if someone, I never looked at my program because I never had the time. I got a program as I walked in. I stuck it in my seat cushion, and I would sit on it and watch the game. And then one time someone opened it, and we lost. And so I said, you never open another program
Right.
again. So I didn't do that. And I took a girl to a game once, and they lost, so that girl was never coming back. And I decided no women
That
could come
girl's
back.
out.
No,
That
girl was out, and then every other woman subsequently been out. But then recently, what I tried to do several years ago was bring my girlfriend at the time to a game I knew we win by 70 points, so I could get rid of that superstition. I tried.
You tried to manipulate the fates.
Tried the fates, and
Yes.
of course we won. When we won a game, the year when that was championship, we won a game 76-3 back in 2002. And I said, okay, I bring a girl this game because we're not going to lose this team, and we won by 70 points. And so I would try to bring her to other games, but I just couldn't do it. I mean, I'd invite her, but then I just, no. I have a group of there are 5 people I can sit by at a game, and those 5 people, one way or another, those are the people that sit next to me every game that I'm at, home or away.
What if they're not available?
Oh, some of them are always available. They have to be because it's a home game.
Oh, so
would-
you have a roster of people.
I have like 5 people I can sit next to at a game that are allowed to sit directly next to me on one side or the other.
And if just humor me for a second. If none of those people were available for some reason, what would you do? Leave the seats empty?
Yes.
Or fill them with other people?
I don't know. I hadn't come to that.
It hasn't
yet.
come to that point yet.
Yes.
Oh, well, God forbid. I hope that never happens to you.
It won't. Because my friends, why would you want to miss a home game? What else would you want to do on a Saturday?
I don't know. I probably have a huge list. Let's visit the Blantons for a second because I need to pause. You like the Blantons?
Very smooth. I love Blantons, yes.
You like the single barrel Blantons?
Yes.
It's a nice blend.
I love the horse. I'm into horse racing.
I know you
It's
are.
got the jockey and the horse on top of it. And, I go to Lexington. I go to Lexington for Keeneland every year. I go to the Derby every year. This will be my 2017 will be my 32nd year at the Derby consecutively.
Which I'm supposed to go to the Derby with you one of these years. That's not
This year you're going with me.
That's always been on.
Because I probably will not have a girlfriend, and so you go with me to the
bucket
Derby this
list
year. I've got a
go.
hotel room already booked.
Uh-huh.
And I got tickets, and we'll go to the Derby. It is, if you've never been to the Derby before, it is the single best day of your life.
It is?
Yes.
Okay.
Just-
I thought I've had that already, but
Just the
apparently I
excitement.
haven't.
With 150,000 people,
Uh-huh.
60% of which are good-looking women wearing scantily clad outfits. I mean, why would you not be? And you got gambling, and you got
I like
horses.
to gamble.
Yeah, and it's. I mean, when they sing "My Old Kentucky Home," I get goosebumps every year.
Do you really?
Absolutely, every year.
More goosebumps than, say,
Not Carmen, Ohio. Nothing's more good than Carmen, Ohio. No.
Okay, just
No,
checking.
no,
Just
no,
checking.
No.
But you do like the Blantons.
I like
It's
the
a-
Blantons.
It's a nice blend of corn, rye, malted barley. It's this particular bottle is 93 proof. It's
Which is a
aged-
little lighter than I normally drink.
a
Yes.
little lighter. It's okay. Aged 9 years, and we all know it. As I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but for those of you listening, Buffalo Trace comes from the home of Buffalo Trace with other fine bourbons out of that particular distillery.
Yes.
And I don't know how's your I know you love wine. I know you have a good nose for wine.
Only Italian wine or Oregon Pinot, yes.
Yeah, and a good palate for the wine. But how is it when it comes to bourbons? Do you pick up anything when you smell a bourbon? Do you have a palate for the finish?
Sometimes I have a palate for the finish, and the smoothest bourbon ever is Pappy 20-year. It's the smoothest thing I've ever had in my life, and there's nothing will ever compare to 20-year Pappy Van Winkle.
I might argue that point, but it's good. It's good.
It's the best. I've never had anything better.
Okay.
What have you had better than 20-year Pappy Van Winkle?
I had some over the Thanksgiving weekend, Bourbon Palooza, with my family. That
What did you have?
I actually had a Blantons that is only available in Europe, and it was
I've never had it, so I wouldn't know.
pretty amazing. I understand that, but I think there are some whiskeys that are comparable to Pappy, but Pappy is so iconic.
It's overblown, and people, all the yuppies and all the millennials think they gotta have Pappy. I mean, one of my bars I go to in the Short North, Mouton, every once in a while, every year or so, would get a bottle of Pappy Van Winkle, and all the preppy little millennials would order Manhattans with Pappy Van Winkle, and the bartender refused to serve them.
Oh, good for him.
He says, "I'm not mixing Pappy Van Winkle. I don't care how much you try to pay me, because I'm not putting Pappy Van Winkle in anything over but maybe 1 cube of ice."
Maybe.
Maybe.
And we're drinking our Blantons neat tonight.
Of course.
Because that is one of the best ways to drink it. You can use it for ice. And it is used in some premium cocktails. I know some people around the Derby season will make a mint julep with this.
With Blantons?
With Blantons.
Why would
yes.
you make them?
I'm just saying, Maker's Mark and Blantons. I've seen Blantons made.
Maker's Mark, actually, Woodford Reserve is, I think, is the official bourbon of Kentucky.
yeah.
Or Maker's Mark, it's Woodford Reserve now.
I have a nice Kentucky Derby bottle of Woodford Reserve at home. Back to my conversation. What's out as far as superstitions? What's been eliminated over the course of your life?
Well, I used to, back in the day, I have to have 3 Pepsis and 2 bratwursts before every game.
Okay.
But I got rid of those because I stopped drinking pop altogether.
Uh-huh.
And when I was losing weight, bratwurst is not the thing to lose weight. So I got rid of the bratwurst and Pepsis before every game. I stopped it for a game. We were going to win by 70 points, and so I didn't do it, and so we won, and so I could get rid of that for the rest of the season.
Now, if that wouldn't have happened, if they would have lost,
I would have had 3 Pepsis and 2 bratwursts until I could have gotten rid of it.
So it takes something, in order for something to be removed off the list, certain things have to fall into place.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. All right. So 3 Pepsis and 2 bratwursts. That's out. Probably will add to your longevity in the big picture. What else?
I really haven't got rid of it. I mean, obviously, my shirt that we won the championship in 2002 has been
That's
retired.
been retired. That's different. It's not out. It's retired.
I have another jersey. It's an old. It's a 45 Archie Griffin jersey that my friend gave me as his wedding gift to me because I was in his wedding.
Uh-huh.
That I've been wearing since I retired the one jersey.
Right.
Now, even though that won the championship a couple years ago, I haven't retired that yet because I still think it's got a couple more championships in it.
Like this one coming up.
I'm hoping. Yes.
Are you happy that we're not in the Big Ten championship
Part
game?
of me is happy because I don't want to play Wisconsin because emotionally it's tough after last week to get up for another game. And it was a bruising game, and it'd be tough to get up for it. But a part of me remembers the last time we played Wisconsin in the Big Ten championship game was the greatest game Ohio State ever played in my lifetime. I was alive in 1968 when they beat the team up north 50-7, but I was not at the game as a 2-year-old. But the Big Ten championship game 2 years ago against Wisconsin, 59-0, it was the single best game I've ever seen us play from start to finish.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was a complete domination. And I was in the 50-yard line. I was in the suite on the 50-yard line, eating as much as I wanted and drinking as much as I wanted and pacing, and no one got next to me because everybody thought I was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So it was an unbelievable experience. And so I may miss that because I was going to finagle my way back on the same suite if we were playing there this week.
What happened at Penn State? Were you there?
No, I will never go back there again because those fans are assholes.
So you don't think that had anything to do with the loss? You not being present?
I've not gone to Penn State in a long, long time. We've won there without me being there. We've lost there without me being there.
So it doesn't factor in.
If I'm not there, I can't control what happens if I'm not there. I only control the games that I'm at.
You really think you can control games?
Yes, of course I can.
You really believe this?
I do. I believe it.
You believe that you. I keep going back to that, but
Yes.
you in your heart.
In my heart, I believe I am.
Believe that you have some control over it.
I do. Yes.
So, do you think that you were instrumental in the Buckeye victory this past weekend?
Of course I was.
You were.
Of course, because I did
So
everything right.
Why did you?
And we got close. I kissed my ring 7 times.
7 times.
Lucky 7.
Lucky 7.
Yeah.
Wow. So, if you are in control of the Buckeyes' fate, why did you let it go to double overtime?
I didn't. Our field goal kicker did. If we'd have kicked on those other field goals, we'd have won that game. I mean, listen. We wanted a classic. We got a classic. We wanted little Jimmy Harbaugh to be disappointed, and everything worked out to our advantage.
Little Jimmy Harbaugh. Little Jimmy Harbaugh. All right. I'm surprised you even mentioned his name.
Well, because I said little Jimmy before of it.
We've touched upon a little bit how your superstitious nature has affected your relationships, or at least when you brought those relationships into your games. But the way you are, which is, let's be honest, you self-admit it, that you're a little
nuts, crazy.
You're a little nuts, crazy.
Yes, I agree.
All right, but you have a very important job.
Yes.
A very important job. Secretary of the Democratic Party here in the state of Ohio.
Ran several campaigns this
You
past
run
November.
successfully. You've run several campaigns.
Yes.
You mentioned on the onset that you wish that your superstitious powers had some sway over elections. And I don't want to talk politics so much as I just want to talk how the way you are plays into your everyday life as far as a job.
Well, I only wear Ohio State clothes. Every day of my life, I wear at least 2 items say Ohio State on them. My shirt will always be Ohio State, and my watch will always be Ohio State, and my necklace, of course. I'm not changing that. I always wear at least 2 things that say Ohio State on them. Ohio State.
Every day.
Every day of my life, except days after we lose football games. Then I have a 3-day mourning period. So after Penn State, I didn't wear anything that said Ohio State on Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday. That was a mourning period.
All right, let me stop right there for a second. When you're going through your mourning period, and when I imagine when we mourn over whatever the case might be, a game, a loved one, we are distracted from what we have going on a daily basis. So
I can't be distracted.
When you mourn, are you distracted from your job?
No, I can't be because my job's too important.
But people know you're mourning.
Of course, because I'm not wearing Ohio State clothes. Everybody knows that.
Everybody knows that.
If I don't wear Ohio State clothes, people notice it because I always wear Ohio State clothes.
Uh-huh.
Every jacket I own, I have 12 short sleeve polo shirts. I have 20 sweatshirts. I have 5 sweaters. I have a jacket. I have like 16 outerwear. Everything from the windbreaker to a heavy winter coat.
Uh-huh.
I have 3 pairs of Ohio State gloves. I buy a new ball cap every season, and I wear it only for that season. So I have 35 ball caps. I have winter caps. I have everything. A scarf. I have it all. Umbrella. I have it all. Everything. I have it all. But if I come into the office and I have nothing that's wearing scarlet and gray, I have none of it on, I'm in the morning, and everybody realizes, oh my God, Bill's not wearing Ohio State clothing.
Do people stay away from you?
Of course they do.
They do.
Yes.
Yeah. But it doesn't get in the way of how you do your job.
No, because I have to do my job, and I'm good at my job, and I can't let it affect. The only reason I get to do all the stuff I do for Ohio State is because I have a job that I make money for, and I get to go to all the away games and everything else, and I get my tickets because of people I know from the work I do.
Right.
So I can't let that slip because it would affect my relationship with Ohio State football.
Okay. So vocationally, with the Superstitions, you're sound. Everything's good.
Yeah, everything's good.
No problems.
Yeah, so on the day after a game, on Sunday after the game, I don't do anything. I lay in the house depressed.
So if they lose.
If they lose.
Yeah. Yeah. But on a Sunday, well, all right, if they lose on a Saturday, because I know you like professional football, and I know you've got how many TVs at your house?
I have 3 in the living room, 8 upstairs.
All right, 3 in the living room, 8 upstairs. Why? Well, do I want to know why 8 upstairs?
Because I don't want to I never get rid of a TV. I recycle them. They're upstairs in my Buckeye room, my scarlet and gray room upstairs, where when I have guests for Ohio State home games, I have a futon and 2 air mattresses, and so I have 8 TVs. So, when I have to, I can watch 8 games at once.
If you have to.
If I have to.
Have there been 8 games on at once?
Oh, yeah, there's 8 games on every Saturday.
Yeah. Oh.
If Ohio State actually wouldn't play a game,
yeah,
I would probably watch 8 games.
Yeah. So when Ohio State has a bye week, you're still.
Except during election years because I'm too busy working.
Yeah, too busy working. Once again, it doesn't get in the way of your vocation.
Right.
But it has gotten in the way of relationships.
Several, yes.
Several.
Yes.
Let's, what's the Go back to your childhood in Cleveland. How old were you when you had your first girlfriend?
Oh, I didn't have I had to beg women to go with me to prom and stuff like that.
Uh-huh. What was the first relationship that went down the tubes because of your superstitions?
Oh, in college. Because I always had tickets to the games, and I could never take. I took a girlfriend once, and we lost. And I vowed I'd never take a girlfriend again, and so I never did. One of the few things I have that women actually find attractive is I have Ohio State tickets, but I can't take them to games because it's bad luck. I took a girl to a Michigan game.
Doesn't it seem like quite the emotional quandary? You say one of the attractive qualities is the fact that you have tickets to the Ohio State games, and yet the thing that props you up is also the thing that brings you down.
That's why I try to find reasons. I try to take them to a game that we're going to win by 60, 70 points so I can actually bring them to other games that season. But then eventually we lose. Like one woman I took to a Team Up North game several years ago. It was freezing cold, and we lost. Another woman whom back in the day, she lived in D.C. She came in for a weekend. I took her to an Illinois game. A guy named Eddie George was a freshman. He fumbled twice on the goal line. We lost. I was into that one. It was done. I blamed her for the loss, so we were done. We were done.
Okay, so aside from those moments where you blame the woman for the loss, or you think that the woman was the cause,
she was
for the reason. Were these up to that point? Were these exceptional women that you could have considered a long-term relationship with? Maybe you thought you found that mythical creature, the one, and could have settled down. Is in your opinion? Because I know you just turned 50 years of age.
Yes,
I missed your 50th birthday, but
I got about a Pappy Van Winkle for my 50th birthday.
Well, congratulations! Yes. I'm very happy for you.
I got like 13 other bottles of bourbon and several items of Ohio State clothing and knickknacks and everything else because I'm an easy guy to shop for. Italian wine, bourbon, or something that says Ohio State on it.
So is she out there? Is the perfect Billy DeMora woman out there? What would it take?
I don't know.
Given your superstitious nature, what would it take? What's that woman consist of?
I'm not so sure I ever want to be married. I'm not so sure I'm capable of being married. I'm
because of the superstitions?
No, because of who I am.
Because of who you or how? Not who you are, or how you are.
Both. How I am. Maybe how I am. Yes.
Let's go with how.
Let's go how.
Because who you are as a friend.
That's how I am. Yes.
I'm
a great friend.
You're a terrific friend.
I'm a great friend. I would give any friend of mine. I would do anything they would for any of them,
without question.
But I'm not so sure I want to give up half of my house or half of my life. I'm not there yet. I'm not there. And
is there so much that you say you're giving it up? Why? Maybe can't you share it? Doesn't that work?
But see, what makes me good at my job makes me bad at relationships.
What makes you good at your job?
Doing whatever it takes to get the job done.
And why is that bad in a relationship? Why can't you apply that same theory to a relationship? Because doing whatever it takes to make it a good relationship.
I get in arguments, and I go for the kill. In politics, I get in arguments with people, and I go for the kill.
I understand. That's a cutthroat business.
That's right. And
I totally get that.
When you do that to your girlfriend, it doesn't go over well.
Can't you modify it?
It's tough for me to modify.
Can't you?
When I get in an argument, it's me against the world, and I go for the jugular. I'm not guy. I don't pussyfoot around. I go for the kill. My job is to kill.
Because to be very passionate in a relationship about how you feel can be a very positive thing. If you can, I don't know, maybe harness it somehow and funnel it.
I've never been able to do that. Yes, that's correct. If I could, I would. Maybe. I don't know. Listen, the latest ex-girlfriend was a great woman. She's awesome. And I'm a fool for not dating her anymore. I realize that. But it just didn't work out.
So how do you handle that loss? You talk about how you handle
luckily, we beat
losses.
the Team Up North this weekend, so I'm over it, yes.
How do you handle a romantic loss?
I drink a lot.
Well, welcome to Whiskey Business. So is there any part of you mentioned earlier that you never wanted to see anybody see you do Script, Ohio on a Saturday? But, and be honest.
Very few people are awake at 4:30 in the morning.
I understand that. But if you found the right woman and she embraced all of your craziness, all your
I would have to determine it would be a step-by-step determination whether they would be able to participate in all this stuff.
Step one?
Well, step one, first of all, was I mean, I have to take them to a game. We're going to beat Miami of Ohio by 70 points. I'm not going to take them. Their first game is not going to be the team up north or Wisconsin or Penn State or Nebraska or Oklahoma next year. That's not going to be the first game because those games are all in doubt.
So
the first game next year will be UNLV. We're going to win that game by 70.
Right. So they passed that first test. Step 2, the perfect woman.
Listen, I'm not so sure anybody is perfect for me.
You mentioned that, but let's just humor me, if it were possible.
If
Step
it were possible.
2. She makes it to the first game. Now what else? What else does she do or doesn't do that puts her?
Well, I mean, for instance, I used to not be able to sleep with a woman the night before a game because we lost. I slept with a woman before the Texas game. We lost.
You're not a boxer. That's an old boxing thing. Don't have sex before a fight.
But
you need your legs.
What
is wrong with you?
Because I didn't have sex before a football game ever. And then at the Texas game, this woman at the time, she called and said, "I'm coming over for sex." And I said, "Okay." And she was hot. And we had sex all night, and I got up at literally at 4 in the morning, 4:30 in the morning. I said, and this is a night game. Texas was a night game, mind you. And I said, 4:30 in the morning. I said, I got up, took a shower. I said, "Where are you going?" I said, "I have to go tailgate." She's lying there naked, and I said, "I'm going to tailgate. I take a shower, and I'm going downstairs. I'm going to do my." I didn't tell her what I was doing because I want to get it. But I said, I have to go downstairs. I'm going to take a shower. I'm going to the football game. She says, "It's 4:30 in the morning." I said, "Yeah, I know. I have to be there by." At the time, I had to be there by 6. It's 5 now, but I had to be there by 6 by that time. At that time. And she says, "Are you crazy?" I said, "Yes, I am crazy." And I said, I told her, I said, we're going to lose this game because I had sex with you last night. And we lost.
Oh, my God. So now, still?
No, I mean.
No, okay. Because that happened?
Because it happened in a game I knew we were going to win. And
so basically what you're telling me is, in respects to this particular story, you're crazy, but you're not insane.
I want to find a way to be with a woman the night before and the day of the game. Trust me, it's not any fun when you can't take the person you're with to an Ohio State football game.
I agree.
But last year we broke up at a football game, so I was not going to take her to another one.
Okay, so you get past that. Let's if we're going for the top 3 that makes the perfect woman for Billy DeMora. What's the final third thing?
Well, I mean, she has to be a Democrat. I'm not going to date a Republican. I mean, I've dated Republicans in the past, and they're nice people, the ones I've dated, but
I understand.
I couldn't do it.
You meet the perfect woman. She understands you. She accepts you.
That's impossible.
Okay. Once again, in a fantasy world here, she knows you. She understands you. She accepts you. She gets every crazy little thing you do. Maybe she even finds it endearing. Maybe she finds it adorable. Maybe she's just as fanatic of a fan as you are. Maybe she has just as many superstitious things as you do. You are soulmates on the superstitious chart of craziness. You have finally met and connected. And one thing, she's a Michigan fan.
Never.
Come on!
No.
You make beautiful. You have great sex together.
You saw
you
the
get along on. You
like
saw
the ESPN commercial.
Like the same foods.
You saw the ESPN commercial about that stuff.
Wines. No. Everything about you
no
two
way,
is in perfect harmony, except that one thing. And let me add another. She goes, and while the season's going on, she actually says, "Go Bucks! Go! I want your team to win." And she supports your Buckeye loyalty. But when it comes to that one game, she goes back to being a Michigan. She's perfect, Billy. Perfect on every other level of the spectrum.
No.
But she's a Michigan fan.
No.
You're telling me you would let that woman go?
Probably, yes.
Wow. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what makes Billy DeMora the world's most superstitious fan that I have ever known. My friend, I don't know where to go after that. Cheers to you, and best of luck in all your endeavors. I am proud and pleased to call you my friend. You delight me on so many different levels, and every time we talk, that's what I find the most amazing is that every time we talk, I find out a little bit more about you that just adds to the. It's like a painting that I never finish when it comes to you. I'm always adding a little something to it because there's always something more to add, and I think that makes you a very unique and special individual. And I sincerely hope that she's out there because you're a great guy, and if any woman out there can get past all this other insanity and apparently be a Buckeye fan and a Democrat, let's add that to the list. There's a great guy on the other end of this microphone that you need to meet. Thank you, buddy.
Well, thank you, Dino.
I appreciate it. Let me say this as I conclude my thanks to producer Greg Hansberry, as always, and tell you that Whiskey Business is a Never the Luck production, recorded with the cooperation of the Columbus Radio Group. All the opinions stated here this evening are mine and my reluctant guests and are not meant to be taken too seriously, are only here for your amusement and enjoyment. And if you do take them too seriously, well, you need to relax a little bit. So, my friends, until the next bottle, see ya.